Welcome to Money Music, where you will learn about the big money in your vinyl records. I'm John Marshall, also known as Mighty John, the Record Guy, from MoneyMusic.com. With me, the man who personally knows many of the icons in rock and roll. They don't like him, but they know him. My friend, legendary lawyer, Derry Rundlett.
Well, thank you, Mighty. I think some of them like me. I hope they do.
Now, again, at the end of the show, we will tell you how you can get the values for every Elvis and every Beatles record absolutely free. No purchase necessary. Over 2,000 Elvis and Beatles records are on the list. Now, this podcast is not just for record collectors, but for everyone who seeks out treasures at yard sales, flea markets, estate sales, and thrift stores. Plus, at the end of the countdown, we're going to tell you how you can get free record appraisals from us, and we'll answer some emails. Now, on today's countdown of 20 records worth up to $100 or more, number one on our list is a record by a very well-known band that can sell for as much as $9,000.
Whoa, can't wait for that one.
Now, I don't want you to say Brenda Lee to this question.
Okay, go ahead.
This 15-year-old was 4'9" when she hit number one on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1963.
4'9". I would have. I can't. Oh my God.
How tall is Brenda Lee?
About 4'9".
Yeah.
So I'm going to say I don't know, Mighty.
The name of the song is "I Will Follow Him."
Oh my God! You got Little Peggy March.
You got it.
By the way, Mighty, Little Peggy March, who had basically one hit, I guess, major hit, and Brenda were on the Malt Shop Cruise, and they were doing interviews, and Brenda said, "Gee, you'd think she is the one that had 40 hits. I'm the one who had 40 hits." But Little Peggy March was on. And by the way, Peggy March used to open for a very famous comedian by the name of Don Rickles. There you go. Okay,
all right.
Thank you for that.
She still holds the record for being the youngest female singer to hit number one on the Billboard Hot 100.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Yep. That song did go to number one. That's true.
Yeah. Single can sell for $20 today. The album, I Will Follow Him, released by RCA, is worth up to $50 in mono and $100 in stereo.
Well, there you go, Little Peggy March. Congratulations.
Now, other than the Beatles, who had a hit with Ticket to Ride?
Oh, my God. No clue on that one.
We might have mentioned this before, so you should have no problem remembering, but apparently you do.
I do.
Brother, sister Karen and Richard Carpenter made up the most successful singing duo of the 70s with over 100 million records sold.
What? Oh,
they
my
had
goodness.
10 singles that went gold. On many of their recordings, Karen also played drums. Their first single, a remake of the Beatles' Ticket to Ride, is worth no more than $15, but their 1969 debut album, Offering, released on A&M Records, is worth up to $200 today.
And I've got a story about Karen Carpenter. She and Petula Clark went to visit Elvis in the 70s when they were both peaking. Both attractive women, and Elvis asked his entourage to leave so that he could hit on Karen and Petula. And Petula said, "Well, we knew where that was going," and we said, "Sorry, Elvis, we got to go." She tells that story, so it's a wicked fun story.
Okay. All right, who was Patrick McGowan?
Oh, my God, Patrick McGowan. Oh, my God. Nope.
An American actor born in Great Britain who had a very successful stage and Broadway career, starred in 2 American TV series.
What?
Patrick McGowan.
One
was called The Prisoner.
Don't know it.
The other, Secret Agent.
Oh, remember Secret Agent? Yeah.
Secret Agent.
That's right. That's right. I can see the man now, yes.
Well, I'm glad he can't see you because it's not a pretty picture. Secret Agent ran in 1960 for 2 years and again in 1964 for 4 years. In 1966, RCA released the Secret Agent soundtrack album. A copy can get you $250 today. Find the values for over 10,000 soundtracks in my Soundtracks Guide, available at moneymusic.com.
And Johnny Rivers, Secret Agent Man, great song.
Yes.
Or as John Belushi did on Saturday Night Live, Secret Asian Man.
Okay. Yeah. I missed that episode. Now, is it Bruce Johnson or Bruce Johnston?
It's Johnston.
Johnston. He became a member of the Beach Boys, but he was a member of what other hit-making group?
Oh, my goodness. Don't know it.
Here are the hits. Hey, Little Cobra.
Oh, my God, the Daytonas?
No.
Oh,
Three-window coupe.
I know that Hey Little Cobra, but I thought it was the Daytonas. Go ahead.
The Ripcords.
The Ripcords. Oh,
It was right on the tip of your tongue.
No, it was not.
No. But their first taste of success came in 1963 with the single Here I Stand. An original copy of the 45, released on Columbia Records, is worth no more than $20. But find a copy of the black and white picture sleeve to promote the 45, and $250 could be yours. With time still left to complete a live performance, this superstar improvised on a song that would become a rock and roll classic, covered by many, from Bobby Darin to Elvis. What's the song?
Oh, whoa. I don't know.
If I said to you, hey, ho, back and forth. Tell me what I say.
Oh, baby, what I say. Okay.
Tell me what I say.
Yeah.
Now, that was the song that Ray Charles closed every concert with.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
Rolling Stone magazine listed at number 10 on its list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. Released on Atlantic Records, the 45 worth up to $30, but the 78 version can get you $300 today.
And here's a little known fact about Ray Charles. Some people may not know, but Ray Charles was very fond of spending time with several women at one time.
As we discussed on a previous podcast.
Not to do that. Not to mention that every time. Go ahead.
Okay.
I just can't resist it because I love that piece of trivia about Ray Charles.
And now how we decide which ones he wanted and which ones he didn't?
I didn't know that story. I think
he would feel their wrist to see if it was skinny or
oh, my God.
chubby.
Now, you see, the thing is, I bring something up, and you come out with a fact that is just wonderful. All right. I think I read that once before.
Now, Derry, here's a song, an album about what could be your law firm. The members.
How we cheat him and how.
Yeah. No, now, these could be the members of your law firm.
Okay.
Bingo the Gorilla.
Okay.
Fleagle the Beagle.
Yep.
Snork the Elephant.
Yep.
And Drooper the Lion.
Yeah. Two of them are my partners.
From what cartoon show do they come?
Oh, I want to say, what is it? Scooby-Doo?
Yeah. Scooby-Doo, no.
No, whatever it is, yeah.
The Banana Splits.
Oh, never would have known that.
Well, that's because you're Drooper the Lion. The Banana Splits Adventure Hour, consisting of what we said, Bingo and Drooper and Snork, was on Saturday mornings on NBC in 1968 and 1969. The album, Where the Banana Splits, on Decca Records, can get you $300 today. Yeah.
No way.
Now, what gospel single, not album, by Elvis can sell for $350?
I'm going to say Amazing Grace.
Well, it's a good choice, but not the correct answer.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, we all talk about Elvis's love for gospel music.
Yes.
He grew up with gospel and would often sing it to warm up for recording sessions.
Right.
His own personal record collection contained many gospel hits.
That's true.
In 1966, RCA issued the Elvis gospel single, Joshua Fit the Battle of Jericho.
Oh, yeah.
With its picture sleeve, it's worth up to $350 today.
And, of course, ladies and gentlemen of this audience, the only Grammys that Elvis ever won were gospel Grammys. He never won a Grammy for any of his wonderful hits. Go ahead.
I think we talked about that when we talked about the story about Ray Charles, too. So keep up with the program.
Yeah, okay. Well, I can't remember 1 week to the next.
Oh, 1 week to the next. How about 1 day to the next?
That's true, too.
Now, the group's original lineup was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1990, the Vocal Group Hall of Fame in 1999, and the New Jersey Hall of Fame in 2017.
The Happenings.
Oh, come on.
No, I know.
Who's from Jersey?
Well, a lot. Four Seasons.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. All right.
The Jersey Boys.
Yes.
All right. So the Sherry album we mentioned before gets you $100 today. But before Frankie Valli was with the Four Seasons, and we mentioned this earlier, he was part of the Four Lovers.
Yes.
They had one album, Joyride, released on RCA. It's worth up to $500 today.
Yes. And I just want to say to people, if you get a chance to see Frankie Valli, in person, he has to lip sync some of his songs. That's the way it is. And they chime in with things. But to see him on stage, you're watching one of the great icons of music history. He's a wonderful, wonderful man, Frankie Valli.
This lady's hit, let's see, her 11 years of record sales for Atlantic Records made the label known as the house that Ruth built. Not Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Atlantic Records.
It's not Babe Ruth. And that would be...
Big hit for her, Lucky Lips. Lucky lips are always kissing.
Yeah, and
Lucky
I don't know
lips.
who that is.
Ruth Brown.
Nope, never. Ruth Brown?
Ruth Brown.
There's a name that's never crossed my lips before.
One of the most popular and successful female rhythm and blues performers of the 50s, even though she's unknown to Derry. Her first big hit, Lucky Lips, was released in 57. It can now sell for $50. Her debut album, Late Date with Ruth Brown, can get you $500 today.
Whoa.
What was Marvin Gaye's first hit?
Oh, I'm just going to say heard it through the grapevine, but I'm sure it's not that.
Well, you're right about it not being that anyway. We'll give you credit for that.
Okay.
When Marvin Gaye came into Motown, he was not interested in the commercial top 40 sound. He wanted to sound more like his hero Nat King Cole and Sam Cooke. He wanted to sound more adult, so a compromise was reached. He was allowed to do it his way on the album Soulful Moods of Marvin Gaye. When it didn't sell, he did it Motown's way with his first hit, Stubborn Kind of Fella. 45 worth $30, but that Soulful Moods album, released on the Tamla label, a division of Motown, worth up to $500 today.
Whoa, and by the way, Mighty John,
Yes.
In the last podcast, you mentioned a female group that I didn't know the name of, a female group that was on Motown, and I found out yesterday by listening to XM Radio that this group had the first #1 record in Motown in the top 100. And
Marvelettes.
there you go.
Please, Mr. Postman.
There you
Yes.
go. All right. But I just thought it was very interesting that the next day I listened to that, and that's what they talked about.
Who did the single, Break On Through to the Other Side?
Break On Through. Boy, yeah, I know the song. Can't give it the
Mr. Dino?
That would be the Doors.
Very good. Dino will now assume responsibility as my partner in this podcast.
And who was it again?
The Doors.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Oh, yes, of course, The Doors. My
Now,
God.
1967, Elektra Records released the debut album by The Doors, the first single from the album, Break On Through to the Other Side. It was an instant flop, never cracking the Billboard Hot 100. However, over the years, it has become one of the most popular songs by The Doors.
That's true.
The original 45 with picture sleeve is worth up to $500 today.
Yes, and as I
Break On
mentioned in the
Through.
last podcast, be sure to see Val Kilmer as Jim Morrison.
Very good. I remember that. Yes, good movie.
Yep.
Wasn't Meg Bryan in that movie?
I think she was, yes. Yep.
Now, what hit by Smokey Robinson and the Miracles was also recorded by the Beatles.
Oh, my God. Boy, nope.
Following the success of their 1961 hit Shop Around, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles found a bigger smash with You Really Got a Hold on Me.
Oh, yes. And the Beatles did that. They did. You know, it's amazing, Marty, how many hits the Beatles had that were actually covers of other songs.
Yeah.
People did Twist and Shout, for example. And they had a bunch of them. I think, didn't they also do Please, Mr. Postman?
I think they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, of course, their original. Yeah, they covered a lot of records, which was good for the people that
And all
covered.
those old Carl Perkins songs, they did those too.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
Now, the 45 can get you $25. It's one of the most covered songs of all time, including the version by the Beatles. In 1963, Tamla Records released the album The Fabulous Miracles. The title of the album was later changed to You Really Got a Hold on Me to capitalize on the well-known single. The original album can get you up to $500 today. Ricky Nelson and Elvis Presley were the only teen idols of the 50s and 60s to never appear on American Bandstand.
That's right. That's true.
Colonel Parker wouldn't allow it, and Ricky didn't need it. However, by 1966, Ricky's career was fading fast, and he made an appearance on what show that he and Elvis also appeared on. Not at the same time, but Elvis was on this TV show, and Ricky was on this TV show.
Milton Berle, Steve Allen, don't know.
You're getting close.
What?
Ed Sullivan.
Oh, well, yes. And as we know, Ed Sullivan said in his final episode with Elvis, this is a wonderful man. But I've got to say that that the person that appeared more times on American Bandstand than any other was none other than a friend of mine, not a close friend, but a friend, Freddie Cannon, and the second most populous guy would have been my good friend, Bobby Rydell.
By 1966, Ricky's career was fading, so he went on The Ed Sullivan Show and sang a single called Fire Breathin' Dragon.
What?
Fire Breathin' Dragon.
I don't even know that song.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's why it's worth up to $750 with its picture sleeve.
That's incredible. I love Ricky Nelson. Boy, he was a piece of work, that guy.
What was the first single for Bob Dylan?
Oh, my goodness. By the way, folks, I just saw the movie yesterday. You got to go see it. It's like you're watching Bob Dylan. And I don't know the answer.
The title kind of sounds like your state of mind most of the time.
Positively 4th Street. I don't know what
The title was called Mixed Up Confusion.
I got to tell you, boy, you watch this movie and you realize there's a reason why he is who he is. And the other good thing about the movie is, folks, he's still alive. It doesn't end tragically. He walks off the stage and the movie's over.
Now, Mixed Up Confusion was a song written by Dylan originally for the freewheelin' Bob Dylan album. However, since the entire album was acoustic, Mixed Up Confusion wouldn't have fit since the song was recorded with an electric band.
Right.
And so it was issued as his first single, released by Columbia Records. It's worth up to $800 today.
And one of the themes in the movie, of course, is when he went from folk to rock at Newport Folk Festival, and everybody went nuts. And that's when he introduced and said, I'm going to be going into rock and roll. And, of course, the rest is history. But that's one of the themes of the movie.
I once had my picture taken with Fiona Flanagan, who was one time a girlfriend of Bob Dylan.
No way.
Yes.
Well, in this movie, I'm not going to give it away to the audience, but his romances are a big part of the movie. And so, do you know when she was his girlfriend?
This would have been back in the 80s.
Oh, so
Yeah.
of course, this movie is about the 60s primarily. They don't go into the 80s, but of course, my God, he's been around. And I have to say, folks, he is one wonderful performer to see. He'll talk, and you really can't understand much of what he says when he talks in between songs. But when he does the song, you can hear every word.
Derry, where is the House of the Rising Sun located?
Well, I'm going to say New Orleans, but am I right or wrong?
Yes. Have you ever been there?
To the House of the Rising Sun? No, I've not. I've been to New Orleans many times, but I don't think I've been in the House of the Rising Sun.
Number one hit for the Animals in 1964.
That's right.
But the song was first recorded by Clarence Ashley in 1931.
Yes, the Animals were not the first to do it. I did know that.
And by country legend Roy Acuff in 1941. Before the Animals made their version, the one that everyone knows, it was also recorded by Glenn Yarbrough and Leadbelly. You remember Leadbelly?
I definitely do not.
He doesn't remember you either. The 1964 Animal single on MGM Records is worth up to $50 with its picture sleeve. A purple vinyl copy of The House of the Rising Sun can get you $1,500.
No way. That is
Yes.
fantastic. Eric Burden. I did see Eric Burden twice.
Yeah, he's great.
Saw him in New Orleans, and he is a piece of work to watch.
Yep.
Eric Burden.
Very talented.
Yes, very talented man.
This superstar was also an actor, winning an Academy Award for his part in what movie?
Academy Award in what movie? My goodness, I don't know.
Francis Albert Sinatra.
No, well, that's right. From Here to Eternity, he did get for Best Supporting Actor, and I did. Yeah, there you go.
He could be considered the first teen idol as the Bobby Soxers went wild when old Blue Eyes performed.
Oh, yes. If you watch the cartoons back in the 50s, they would always show, the caricatures, and they always portrayed Sinatra as weighing about 60 pounds. He comes out all thin, and he was very thin when he was first doing. And they would go to what is now the Hard Rock, the Paramount Theater, and line up the streets to see Frank Sinatra. He was the original Elvis.
Yep. Founding member of the Rat Pack in Vegas, Sinatra's first record with band leader Harry James was From the Bottom of My Heart. Released on Brunswick Records, it's worth up to $1,500 today.
Yeah.
Now, we've mentioned before there's a lot of money in jazz, and today we feature another jazz great, the son of a Methodist minister, Donald Byrd, was born in Detroit and performed with Lionel Hampton before graduating high school. He would later play with jazz greats Art Blakey and John Coltrane before starting his own solo career. Many of his albums are quite valuable, including Jazz Eyes, worth up to $500, and Bird Blows on Beacon Hill, released by Transition Records and worth up to $1,800 today.
Oh, there you go.
Name 3, if you can, recording stars who died at 27 years old.
Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, and Jimi Hendrix.
And we mentioned Robert Johnson, the father of the blues, on a previous podcast. Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse, and Brian Jones.
Okay.
All 27 years old.
Oh, there you go.
In rock and roll, there are superstars and there are legends. Jimi Hendrix is both. With his life cut short like his contemporaries, Hendrix lives through his influence on so many other performers. His 1968 album, Axis, Bold as Love, released on Reprise Records, is worth up to $10 in stereo if the label is brown, up to $20 if the label is brown and orange, up to $1,500 if the label is green, pink, and yellow, and if it's mono, it's worth up to $2,500 today.
That's
so many little things you've got to be aware of.
Well, you know something, folks.
Before you buy or sell.
The lesson, folks, is when you go to these, yard sales, whatever, and you start thumbing through these records and they sell them for 10 cents, you should buy them because they could be worth a lot of money.
Especially if they're in really good condition. That's what.
That's an important thing. Yes, of course.
Now, before we get to number 1 on today's countdown, we're going to tell you again how you can get free record appraisals. Please limit your list to 3 records so we can answer as many as possible, and put podcast appraisals in the subject line when you email me at mightyjohn1971@gmail.com. List the title, the recording artist, and the record company. We want to hear from you, like we heard from Jack in Lexington, who wants to know the value of the 45 100 Pounds of Clay.
Oh, Gene McDaniels, what a great song.
I believe he passed away in Portland, or near Portland.
Well, I know he lived in Maine, and of course, he had that song, and I forget what was it, Mountain of
Chip in the Way.
Like the Mountain of Love.
Yeah.
Gene McDaniels, great song.
Now, released on Liberty Records in 1961, a copy on a black vinyl worth no more than $15. However, Jack, if yours is blue vinyl, jump up and down. It's worth up to $1,000.
So, Mighty John,
yes.
Is it time for my segment?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Yours will be done when the place is closed. And,
okay. But you have 2 more songs from this guy?
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Okay.
What was the number 1 song of the hit from the movie Fun in Acapulco?
Oh, boy, I don't know. But Elvis never went to Acapulco. That's one fact people never knew. He did not want to go to Mexico. So, anyway,
here are the lyrics.
Yeah.
It's hot in here, but it's oh so cool outside. If you lend me $1, I can buy some gas. We can go for a little ride.
I don't know that one.
She said, no, Bossa Nova Baby. Ain't got
Bossa
time
Nova
for that.
Baby. Hey, Bossa Nova. Oh, yeah, it's the Bossa Nova Baby. I like that song.
My goodness. Released on RCA in 1963, a copy can sell for $50. The picture sleeve is up to $50 if it mentions the movie Fun in Acapulco. But if it does not mention Fun in Acapulco on the picture sleeve, well, then the value jumps to $300.
Oh, there you go. Elvis, he's just worth so much money.
All right, Judy in Disguise.
Oh, Judy in Disguise by John Fred and the Playboys.
All right, released in 1967 on Paula Records. It's up to $15, but find a promo copy of Judy in Disguise, and it is up to $60.
There you go.
Here's another one of those singers that came out of New Orleans.
Yes.
They produced so many great stars.
Right.
Okay, we're going to do your thing.
Well, first of all, folks, this show is sponsored by my TV show, the Derry Rundlett Show, and the Rundlett and Baldacci Report. I recommend it to you. It's on YouTube. I recommend watching the John A-Light interview. He was a member of the Gambino family, which was featured in Godfather, and also the show about Ruggiano. Both of them were featured on Netflix. But I do want to say this, Mighty John, about value of records. Yesterday, I got a call from a wonderful man, the lead singer of The Happenings, who arranged See You in September, which has been voted the #1 summer song. And he called me because he is in the midst of those fires. He's had 3 evacuation orders. And today I got a note from Bob Kulick, who was also a member of the Happenings, with a record that was on eBay for $146, a record of the Happenings signed by both Bob Kulick and the lead singer, Bob Miranda. My best goes out to Bob Miranda. My prayers to all of those people out in California that are battling the blazes out there. So that's my segment for today.
Well, very good and very interesting.
Thank you.
Yes, I know they're friends of yours. And going to ask you a question. Do you remember the 1962 hit, I Remember You?
Yes.
Who sang that?
Oh, Frank Ifield.
Very good.
Whoa. I'm on a roll, yeah.
VJ Records reissued the Beatles' first album in the United States in 1963 with introducing the Beatles. We mentioned that before, but no other record company found more ways of repackaging the same album as did VJ. They released the same album on the Beatles album song Pictures and Stories, as well as the album The Beatles versus the Four Seasons, which we reviewed on an earlier podcast. And VJ issued the same songs on the album live on stage, The Beatles and Frank Ifield. For one thing, they were never live on stage together, so... Yeah. So Frank Ifield was also on VJ with his one big hit in the U.S. called I Remember You, but he was a big star in Britain. So a monocopy of the Beatles and Frank Ifield can sell for $1,500, while a stereo copy can get you $9,000 today.
That is incredible.
Frank Ifield. I think he just passed away recently.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
It was a good song, but God almighty, $9,000?
$9,000 in stereo.
Somebody out there has that.
They're out there.
Yeah.
Now, remember, you can find the values for all your records at moneymusic.com. And if you email me at mightyjohn1971@gmail.com, we will send you the values for every Elvis and every Beatles record free. No purchase necessary. Over 2,000 Elvis and Beatles records are on the list. Just state in your email that you heard the podcast. And be sure to check out my YouTube channel, Mighty John's Money Music, for more free samples of what your records are worth. And email us your list of records you want appraised for free. My email address, again, is always posted on the home page at moneymusic.com.
Go, Mighty John, go! Go!